Welcome to XIO Voice. Continuing from the previous episode 237. The expression on Chen Xian's face drastically changed upon hearing Xiao Yan's dense words filled with killing intent. He did not hesitate even a little as the dou qi within his body erupted in all directions at this moment. After which, all of it agglomerated on his right palm. The rich, fiery red dou qi gathered on Chen Xian's right hand, causing his entire arm look like a burning red charcoal. A frightening fire-red dou qi was swiftly gathered on his palm, appearing just like an unusually sharp fire blade. Mysterious fire blade. A ferociousness had also surged up Chen Xian's face at this moment. His hand trembled, and it formed into the shape of a blade. After which, it was ruthlessly hacked at Xiao Yan's head. With the wave of his hand, the fire knife formed by hot, fire-red dou qi also moved. At the same time, a searing hot, sharp wind tore a dark black crack in space itself. No matter what the case was, Chen Xian was also an expert with a strength that was similar to Xiao Yan. This attack had been unleashed during his all-out retaliation was quite powerful. The cold expression on Xiao Yan's face became even denser in the face of Chen Xian's fierce and violent retaliation. Xiao Yan's hand curled into a claw shape as a jade-green flame surged out. It immediately transformed into a flame glove that wrapped around Xiao Yan's hands. Not the slightest ripple appeared on Xiao Yan's face after the flame agglomerated into a fire glove. After which, he ruthlessly threw a punch. This punch heavily collided with the fire blade of Chen Xian in front of numerous gazes. Bang! The fist and palm collided as a high-temperature wind swept away at this moment. Some of the large rocks started to crack, and some even exploded into a countless number of stone fragments with a bang. The collision of the fist and palm caused Chen Xian's expression to swiftly pale. On the other hand, Xiao Yan's expression remained the same. It did not change even a little while dealing with Chen Xian's fierce retaliation. Get lost! The sharp wind on the fire blade swiftly weakened after making contact with the glazed lotus heart flame. A moment later, it showed signs of crumbling. A chill flashed across Xiao Yan's dark black eyes at this moment. At the same time, a cold cry exploded from the tip of his tongue like thunder across the clear sky. This cry spread out like a wave. Along with this cry came a majestic force that caused Chen Xian's expression to fill with horror. Grug. A terrifying force surged out of Xiao Yan's palm like floodwater. The defenses of the dou qi within Chen Xian's body fell apart under this force. A mouthful of fresh blood was spat out from his mouth with a grug sound. A clear bone-crushing sound immediately erupted from Chen Xian's right hand when the fresh blood shot out. His body flew backwards and heavily smashed into an enormous mountain rock, shaking the rock until numerous tiny cracks formed. A moment later, a crack sound finally rang out and the enormous rock was blasted apart. Its interior was shattered into dust by the hidden force. Chen Xian's body collapsed into the dust of the giant rock. His body continued to twitch. Clearly, Xiao Yan's attack had seriously injured him. Xiao Yan, who had used the first change of the Skyfire 3 mysterious change, could fight with a 7 or even 8-star elite dou zong. However, it would be a little bit of a stretch for him to deal with a 9-star dou zong. The reason the old man with the surname Bai had been forced back by Xiao Yan with one strike was mostly due to Xiao Yan's own strength. After that exchange earlier, Xiao Yan was aware that the old man with the surname Bai had just advanced to the 9th star. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for him to have been forced back with just one ruler strike. Even though Xiao Yan had used the first change of the Skyfire 3 mysterious change, it would still be impossible for him to injure a 9-star dou zong. Unfortunately, Chen Xian had not reached this level. The strength he was proud of was not even worth mentioning in Xiao Yan's eyes. Numerous gazes on the hill looked at Chen Xian, who appeared extremely miserable after having collapsed in the pile of dust. All of them quietly swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Their gazes turned to Xiao Yan with additional fear. The vicious attacks of Xiao Yan terror-filled them. Songqing and Cao Ying's gazes also paused on the miserable-looking Chen Xian. The expressions of the two were different. The expression of Songqing was gloomy. He had a slight friendship with Chen Xian. Xiao Yan's public treatment of Chen Xian had naturally caused his face to appear a little ugly. That witch, Cao Ying, on the other hand, seemed to be very interested in this kind of fight between men. Her enchanting eyes leapt with excitement. From the looks of it, she seemed to want the two of them to charge forward and fight to the death. "Brat, you have gone overboard." At this moment, that old man with the surname Bai, who had been shaken by Xiao Yan until his aura had become sluggish, finally recovered his strength. He looked at the seriously injured Chen Xian, and his expression changed. With a furious roar, his body transformed into lightning as he rushed toward Xiao Yan with a sharp wind full of killing intent. Xiao Yan slightly knit his brows when he saw that old man with the surname Bai attack. He glanced at Chen Xian, who was staring at him with vicious eyes from the pile of dust. Immediately, Xiao Yan let out a cold smile. His body moved, and he once again rushed toward Chen Xian. From the looks of it, he seemed to be planning on giving the seriously injured Chen Xian the final blow. Xiao Yan's body had just moved when quite a number of people detected his intention. Quite a number of people's expectations changed. They had not expected Xiao Yan to attempt to kill the junior sect leader of the profound Zan sect in this place. "Brat, you dare!" Xiao Yan's actions were also discovered by that old man with the surname Bai, and he gave chase. Xiao Yan acted as though he did not hear the howl. He already intended to kill Chen Xian. This person would take revenge for all grievances. Back then, they merely had a small conflict at the alchemist trade fair, but this person had gone and investigated Xiao Yan. After which, he had sold this information to the members of the Hall of Souls, resulting in Xiao Yan nearly being killed. If Zan Kongzi had not suddenly intervened that night, it was likely that Xiao Yan would have had no other choice but to use the extermination fire lotus. The elite Dozun experts were still extremely powerful existences to the current him. Before he refined the third type of heavenly flame, Xiao Yan understood that he did not have many fighting techniques he could use against an elite Dozun. After all, the gap in strength between the classes was really too great. Chen Xian had caused Xiao Yan to nearly lose his life. This matter was naturally not something that Xiao Yan could simply let go with a smile. From a certain point of view, Xiao Yan was a person who would take revenge for all grievances he had suffered. Any favor must be returned, and any animosity must be repaid. The viciousness in Chen Xian's eyes was immediately replaced by panic when he saw Xiao Yan rushing at him with killing intent. With his current condition, he would not even be able to last one exchange against Xiao Yan. The current Xiao Yan only needed to gently move his finger and it would be enough to cause him, the junior sect leader of the profound Zan sect, to lose his life here. "Xiao Yan, if you dare kill me, the profound Zan sect will definitely not let you off." Chen Xian was not bothered much by this critical life and death moment as his voice sharply cried out. Xiao Yan completely ignored his sharp cry. He would never naively think that Chen Xian would be grateful to him if he let Chen Xian off now. If one were to let a vicious wolf off, it would still find opportunities to bite back at oneself. Xiao Yan had seen quite a lot through his years of experience. He would naturally not hold back at this moment. Chen Xian's face instantly became much paler when he saw Xiao Yan ignore his threat. Regret finally surged into his heart at this moment. If he knew that this fellow was so ruthless, he would not have offended him back then. Regret was useless at this moment because Xiao Yan, who was accompanied by a murderous aura, flashed and appeared above Chen Xian's head at this moment. His dark black eyes revealed traces of dense chill that caused one to feel cold. The large, black ruler in his hand was being wrapped by a hot flame. Space itself became distorted wherever the black ruler passed. When you are reincarnated in your next life, you should think about the consequences of any evil thoughts. A ferocious expression flashed across the corner of Xiao Yan's mouth as he looked at the terror on Chen Xian's face. The heavy ruler in his hand did not hesitate as it carried the deafening sound of rushing wind and violently smashed toward Chen Xian's head with a bang. Xiao Yan's attack was completely merciless. Clearly, he intended to take Chen Xian's life with this ruler strike. Chen Xian looked at the jade-green fire ruler that was magnifying within his eyes. His face was already without color. "Stop!" A cry suddenly exploded beside Xiao Yan's ear like thunder while the heavy ruler was swung. Xiao Yan knit his eyebrows upon hearing this cry. However, he continued to ignore it. Instead, the speed his heavy ruler fell increased. Mysterious mud fire shield. The person who had cried out earlier also appeared to be aware that words were useless against Xiao Yan. Hence, he could not resist intervening after yelling out. The ground in front of Chen Xian suddenly trembled at this moment. Immediately, a bang sounded and the soil surged out like water in a flood. The surprising thing was that the soil was mixed with a deep yellow flame. The soil surged and immediately formed an extremely tough shield in front of Chen Xian. A strange, deep yellow flame lingered on the shield. Bang! The soil shield had just been formed when the heavy ruler suddenly fell. It heavily landed on the shield. A low, deep explosion suddenly sounded. One could see the soil shield violently shake when the heavy ruler fell. Sand shot out in all directions. However, this soil shield had slowed Xiao Yan's attack. Xiao Yan's expression slightly sank as he sensed the slight sluggishness of his heavy ruler when it penetrated the soil shield. He knew that whoever had intervened was not intending to block his attack, but had been planning to buy some precious time for that old man with the surname Bai. It was just as Xiao Yan had expected. While his ruler was slowing, a majestic Do Qi rushed behind him in an instant. Moreover, it was aimed at the back of his heart. Clearly, if he really insisted on killing Chen Xian, the person behind him definitely take his life. Xiao Yan narrowed his eyes at this split second. His falling ruler suddenly shook. A hidden force suddenly penetrated the soil shield and heavily struck Chen Xian's lower abdomen. The body of Chen Xian stiffened when this hidden force struck his lower abdomen.